You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast on the We Are Libertarians Network. This is episode number 122 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast, on location in our own actual studio again. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Kade Dakota Davis and Kade Koger. And intern Mason Rottinghaus is here, along with producer Chris Guffey.
Today's episode, as you can see on your screen if you're watching this live, it says no wind in Henry County. We are going to be talking about what in the world that means. We will also be talking about some other Henry County news, mainly what's going on with Jeremiah's pipes in the old White Estates right now. And
maybe Mason Rottinghaus's pipes. We don't know.
We're gonna talk a little bit about Mason Rottinghaus, and we might have more peppers or something. Who knows?
This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we will provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. But hopefully you'll always learn something new. We have had a heck of a week. Last week we were on location. We used to have this sheet of paper on the table, and somebody cleaned it up and did us a favor and got rid of our reeds. What in the hell has happened here? Mason, is this your fault?
Actually, I watched Dakota do it before the show.
Mason.
Our show notes
taking the blame.
That had all of our stuff, all of the things I needed. I was going to just reuse those, but instead we'll pull it up on the screen.
All right. First, before we get started, Mason, we want to thank everyone who helps pays the bills in this place. This is, of course, the Patreon side of things. Patreon.com/BossHogOfLiberty are the people who pay us monthly. And in return, we give them all kinds of bonus content. We let them come out and do things at the studio, and they are invited to different events that we have. And we also have a special tier of those folks. And if they donate $50 or more a month, or if you donate $50 or more a month, then we announce it to the entire world.
Every episode.
From sea to shining sea. Those folks are Christopher Bilbrey, Christy Avery, Craig DaCosta, and, of course, our great friend, Jonathan Phillips.
I got to spend a lot of time with John Phillips this last weekend. I had a good time. The Henry County 4-H Fair was happening, and his kids are in the program. Danny's little one was showing a Phillips horse, and the families get together and we hang out at the pool. Mason was supposed to join us at one point, but you never made it.
It was raining. I was coming out there. I ended up actually coming through. This is unknown, but I came through and saw, walked up to the door, saw you and Sarah laying on the couch, so I left.
That is hilarious.
It's true.
That is hilarious. You just changed your mind.
How creepy.
That's just peered in.
I was like, well, I guess it's over. I'm going home.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. You still
Whatever.
could have used the pool.
I didn't want to be alone. But me and Guffey are going to be together this weekend.
It doesn't sound sad. Yeah, you guys are
full side.
Guffey is the official dog watcher of me and any other hosts that ever have dogs that need to be looked after, I suppose. However many they have, but open.
My dogs don't trust him.
You don't think they trust him?
No, they don't trust Chris. I've found out.
You don't know that.
No, I did. I showed him a picture and said, "Do you trust him?" And they both said,
and they said rough.
Hard no.
Hard no.
Couple news items I wanted to get into real quick before we get into the meat of the show, the big ticket item. Kade, a former Libertarian presidential candidate, has been on the Twitter lately, and he announced that he's running for president again, and then he announced that he was out on a boat
with guns
and his women. He's like Dan Bilzerian at this point. Like they're the same guy, or Bilzerian, or whatever the hell his name is.
He'd be a good guess.
Yeah.
And then I see it's McAfee saying he's on the run, and the CIA is trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And then it becomes he's disappeared, and then it's like he's got this. If I don't check in with it on a certain amount of time, certain things will happen, and they can never be undone.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
I don't know. The last update that I saw, it said that he'd been arrested. Or that
So he did get arrested, and you think he's
at least
out?
detained.
He's out of the jail. How do you get arrested on the high seas?
I haven't seen it past that.
Well, it depends, because even on the high seas, if you're still not in international waters, you can still be arrested by the country that owns the rights to that water. So
any Arrested Development fans around here? Does anybody know maritime law?
Yep.
He got arrested by the Dominican Republic.
This is the
and 23 hours ago. He was released from
in the Dominican. Where's he running away? Where is he a wanted man? Is it in the Dominican?
Here's the
Belize.
Here's the 4-part tweet. This is Logan or Lagia on fire again.
It's a Lugia.
Yeah, whoever. I have good reason to suspect that John McAfee, something else, and other companions have been detained by authorities at their latest port of call. I will be operating this account, providing updates as they become possible.
Now, John McAfee is also the guy of McAfee Antivirus as well. So
yes,
he's not just some crazy rich guy. He's actually accomplished some things in his life.
I last spoke with John as his boat was being boarded. The situation was tense but controlled. Our conversation was cut short by authorities confiscating their phones. The bastards wouldn't even give him a cigarette. If John misses his next check-in, events will be set into motion that I cannot prevent once they have begun. John has secreted data with individuals across the world. That's a weird...
Secreted?
Yeah. It's
just oozed out.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
I know neither their identities or locations. They will release their payloads if John goes missing. So it's like blackmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Our campaign for this is how it ends. Our campaign for individual freedom and an end to state-sponsored tyranny will continue despite these developments. On behalf of the free people of the world, I demand the release of John McAfee and his companions from wherever they are being held. This will not stand. What a miscarriage of justice. A man who is running from the law because he's a suspect of murder and other sexual crimes. He can't just go on a boat with women. That the outrage.
The Miami Herald is reporting now that millionaire John McAfee said Wednesday, which is yesterday, he was released from detention in the Dominican Republic along with 5 others. The Armed Forces and Public Ministry said earlier in the day that McAfee was taken into custody along with these 4 other citizens or people, and they were suspected of traveling on a yacht carrying high-caliber weapons. What's the crime there? Ammunition. So what? Military-style gear. Okay. McAfee says, I was well treated. My superiors were friendly and helpful. In spite of helpful circumstances, we've decided to move on. More later. It's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. They just stop him. He makes it sound, I was passing through and they wanted me to hang out with them for a while.
Yeah, leaves a lot of questions.
Didn't he murder a guy?
Allegedly, he may have killed his
2012?
neighbor for a dog barking incident in Belize.
Yeah.
It's on the Netflix.
Yeah, there's a whole documentary about him killing some dude.
He had a DUI in Tennessee in 2015. This is a major hit piece. Fox News doesn't like him. They think he's fake news. I don't know. It's entertaining. Is he the best hope for the libertarians? We don't know.
The best hope for, I guess, what's the old saying? There's no such thing as a negative press. That's
he made the news. Libertarians can say no to all of the above when it comes around. I'm not sure what they're going to do yet, but
I think that if a guy who kills another guy over a dog barking can't go out on a yacht with illicit drugs, fully automatic machine guns, and prostitutes, then this is not a country I want to live in.
Yeah, I mean, that's the American dream.
Or the Dominican, apparently. I thought we had freedom. I don't know. You can't run away with guns and women on a boat, and you can't build a pinwheel out in your yard.
It's like
either.
some episode or something on Grand Theft Auto out in the Dominican Republic on a yacht. all these guns. John McAfee is
John McAfee. His life is it's like San Andreas.
San Andreas.
He's a character, man. I'm sorry I've not met him yet. Someday when he's running for president semi-seriously, he'll come by and we'll get to hang out.
Ooh, Jacob Server from the Thunderwolf podcast, which Kade was recently on. He said that those folks read the tweet and they released him because they don't want that info to be released.
Maybe what happened.
That's what it was.
And maybe the Dominicans are afraid of what he has against them. He's got baseball records, and they can't let that happen.
Blackmail works.
It's funny because Jacob just said, "I thought this was America," like Randy Marsh, and that's exactly what I had in my head when he was getting arrested.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or detained, allegedly.
That's what goes through your mind whenever his Twitter says the bastards wouldn't even give him a cigarette.
They wouldn't even let me vape. Oh my God. Whatever. It's there's no smoking in jail. You got to smuggle them in. Other news, we've been following since the beginning of this show, 2 years and change. We've been talking about what happens when Jeremiah flushes the toilet. And unlike here, where we tell Mason he has to just carry it out in a bucket because we don't have those sort of services at the studio, I flush and it goes away at my house. And I've been a really good soldier through this whole process of the city of Newcastle, who's been collecting wastewater money from my home's been connected for 52 years to the city water, city sewer. And they've claimed now in the last couple of years that they don't know the pipes, and the county and the city and the IDEM people, they all got together and they colluded. They corruptly colluded and said that I have to put in a new thing.
Something has happened.
There's chirping. I don't know. It's all happening very fast. It flashed off and back on. You got people watching live over here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody waving at the screen and it's working. It's nobody knows.
So who lays claim to your pipes, Jeremiah?
So, I think the county owns it in this agreement. The state's financing it, and the city is in charge. I am like taxed without representation. I'm like Washington D.C., where the city calls the shots, but I don't have a city councilman. I guess I just have a few that I pick on, but I don't get to vote for one.
Well, you know what? Occasionally, the tree of liberty needs to be
refreshed with the blood of tyrants, right?
Yeah.
So the tyrants came onto my property today.
Like the folks like Aaron Dickin and Darren Jacobs.
So the tyrants came onto my property today and excavated, and they put in my grinder pump. And I've been a good soldier through the whole thing. And I said, okay, yeah, put it here. It's fine. We had to hire a contractor on our own. I went out and I agreed to the thing with a guy, and he's supposed to do my electrical work. And I said, yeah, we're going to put this electrical thing on this side of the house, and we're going to the sewer pit thing's going to go here, and it's going to tie in on the front, and it's all going to be fine and tidy, whatever. I heard them working out there today. I went outside about 3:00, and I kid you not, they bolted this giant gray box onto the front of my house.
It's your little
it's an alarm system with that's a power junction box, sealed unit with a 1-inch PVC pipe coming out of the ground that's going to carry electrical conduit, and it's got this giant red light on it, Kade, a giant freaking red light sitting on the front of my house
when you're
between the front windows, like next to the front door. This isn't hidden behind bushes.
When your little grinder pump gets jammed, it's going to start going.
It's going to buzz.
Beep, 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 beep.
And the whole neighborhood knows that somebody flushed something they shouldn't have. And it's supposed to embarrass you, I guess. I don't know.
It's like a scarlet letter.
Somebody flushed a pet dog down the toilet, and it got stuck in a grinder pump, and now somebody's going to go
poor Garth.
Pick it out. Well, he should have watched what he was doing.
The thing that gets me about the one that they put on the front of your house, first thing is, of course, it's on the front of your house.
It's on the front. Like, have a little bit of love for the aesthetics of this thing. Have some pride.
I have the exact same unit on the side of my house.
You have a grinder pump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm hooked into the
sewers,
the South Henry wastewater.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I send them a bill, and that's it. But I have one.
I bet mine's bigger.
It's on the side of my house. It's hidden by some bushes.
Right.
But also, yours is like 8 feet in the air.
Yeah.
It's like
I swear to God. I was like, I went out and I talked to the guys. I'm like, hey, I'm a reasonable person. is there any chance we can move this to the south side of the house instead of having it sit in between the front windows on the front? Because this just looks bad.
Nope.
And they said, no, well, it's got to go there or it's got to go on a post. And the post looks worse. I'm like, well, I'll be the judge of that. But then I said, really, can we do anything about this? And let me make a phone call. And he went away to make a phone call, and I never saw him again. Maybe it's been moved by now. I highly doubt it.
You could take the post and like get one of those fake rocks.
It's in front of the freaking house. Like there's a flower bed there.
We have a little fake rock over our well, and
it
looks nice.
Do you want? I should put a 6-foot tall boulder in front of my house to block the windows. Is what I should do. So this is.
I probably have one stashed in the woods somewhere on one of my farms. I'd sell to you for a small price.
I'll probably crush the grinder pump line, put the boulder there. So now I've got to figure out what I'm doing with that. So I'm thinking that we're going to get this thing going, and then under the cover of darkness,
we'll take it.
I'm going to assert what I own.
Because
I don't know if my electrician can move it. The guy was like, "Oh, it's only got 15 feet of cord." I'm like, "Well, hell, you can. We can figure this
at least
out.
Mount it lower so I can plant something in front of it.
Yeah,
right.
It's not even centered. It's not centered between the windows. Come on.
It's going to bother your OCD for the rest of your life.
Oh my God, it's bad, Kade. I might have to. I might have to pray for a lightning strike now. I don't know. I don't know.
The unit I have,
bad.
There's probably only 10 inches of pipe that sticks out of the ground before it hits the box.
Yeah.
It's very low to the ground.
I feel worse for some of the other neighbors because my house is gray stone and it's a gray box, so it's a little bit less noticeable.
Except for
the people that have red brick, come on.
Yeah.
This is. I've been like I said, I've been a good soldier throughout the whole thing. I understand it needs to be done. Yada yada yada. My toilets worked when I flushed them, and I wasn't dumping into the big blue. But I'm okay with all of that. I've been okay. But man, this sucks.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I'm sentenced to $35 a month extra for 30 years.
All we gotta do is just.
And now I have to look
it.
at this.
Take it off the wall. Cut some of that pipe off.
I'm gonna get the Sawzall.
Reconnect all of it.
We're gonna.
You know what?
We're gonna make this right.
We could probably do it.
Yeah, easy. It'd be easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
That's what I say.
Can't wait to
That's
ask
what
for
I say
permit.
before everything that I can't do.
Yeah, we could probably do this.
I can figure this out.
I called on your maintenance skills this week. Actually, did that actually work out?
With what?
Your
Patreon member.
Patreon member Zach. He gets special privileges to cut off wheels.
Oh yeah, he never sent me a message.
Oh well, he's
I
probably
told him,
broken down on the side of the road now.
It looked like all he needed was a cutoff wheel.
Yeah,
and I told him I've got a battery powered one that if he just messaged me, but it seemed like he got help with somebody.
Maybe his brother hooked him up. I don't know. All right.
All right.
Well, if you join the Patreon, these are the sorts of things we can hook up with. You are in the network at that point, and Dakota will come and do your electrical work, and Kade will do your cutoff wheel stuff, and I will jump on my soapbox and bitch for you. Basically, that's what happens. So, Patreon.com/BossHogOfLiberty for all of those services. And Mason, you've enjoyed the internship. How you doing over there, buddy? Do you need some Tums or anything?
I feel better.
You do?
A lot better.
The trouble's past. I assume all of these complications are caused from last week's jalapenos.
No, I feel fine after that.
Okay, I was going to say you've completed your internship, but you've lost the premise. The whole premise of the show of entertainment and comedy is somebody sets you up and you say yes.
I got
yes and
slam it.
It was the jalapenos and the peanut butter. That was the problem.
I did.
If you can pass this final test of your embouchure of the way that you speak, just repeat after me. Ready?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
baby.
Yeah, baby.
I've never felt so old in my life. I don't know what the hell's going on.
All right, it's you're old.
Must be a try-high thing, huh?
No, it's not. It's actually from another podcast called "Hello from the Magic Tavern." It's a catchphrase on that podcast.
Do we have a catchphrase?
I don't think so.
Is it?
But I started.
Wind is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, boy! Just butter them up, Kade. Just slide it on in there. Have some fun. So,
We'll get to that.
Steve Smart is watching. I was golfing with him on Tuesday at the Indiana construction industry highway outing. What'd y'all do Tuesday night? Did you have anything fun? Did you do anything good?
I was working.
Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
Yep.
Yes, and
I was
working and
I was doing a lot of work with a big man in the chair right beside me, in this very hot,
Kade's got it now.
in this very hot auditorium.
No, boss, I didn't do nothing.
I also worked.
I wasn't anywhere.
He's like,
That was definitely more productive.
I think I washed my hands, and I might have made a sandwich. I don't know.
you guys went to the at least the quarters largest meeting in all of Henry County, if not in a 6-month period, I would guess.
Sure. Yeah. It was. There was a huge turnout. There was a lot of people there.
It was the Planning Commission meeting.
How did you dress? Set the stage.
So I wore my Big Blue River wind farm shirt. And
What happens if
not one person complimented me?
You were just.
I was upset.
You were just.
What happens if somebody wore a Blue River Valley shirt, like a Blue River High School shirt? Like just an accident. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
There was a lot of black shirts though.
So there were people wearing orange if they were in the construction industry, and there were people wearing blue if they were with the Big Blue River group, and there were people wearing black, and then there were people that just accidentally got dressed that morning and went to the meeting and went, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to be on this team."
Yeah.
So it was at Bundy Auditorium. How many is it? Bundy hold 500, 1,000? I don't know. Pretty big place, right?
Yeah.
More than 500, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number on that.
So and it's heated by people.
Yeah.
That's
it's pretty
the
hot.
heat source.
Everybody was.
It's the summertime. It's July.
There's a lot of swampness going.
Yeah.
So it was. I assume the planning commission wanted to make you all uncomfortable. That was the goal. I know I listened to it. We have if you guys check our feed between episodes 121 and 122 is the raw audio of we'll say 51% of the meeting.
2 hours and 48-ish minutes.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. For your heroic efforts in making that happen.
And well, let's not forget Stephanie at the Bundy Auditorium. She was a huge help.
Yep.
That was very cool that we got that done. Unfortunately, things happen, and the last little bit of the audio, the last segment,
the last half,
Stephanie Brooks was helping us out, but the record button, you brought back a flash drive for me. And I had 3 audio files. 3 of them, there were 4 files.
Yep.
3 had something on them. 1 was an 8-second test. Beautiful. 2 segments that I stitched together, and then the last segment that had the vote and a few other key things, and nothing.
Yeah.
So I threw a bit of a hissy fit on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You saw me at my worst, and I apologize.
It's all right. Unfortunately, some things happen.
I was very unhelpful, but we made it happen. I'm sorry, Sky Shipley, if you're watching this, that post belongs in the Boomer group. You're sorely misplaced. Laughing. Sky Shipley said nobody gives a shit about what you're talking about because you're not. Way to make important issue meaningless. We're on episode 122, Sky. I hope over time you've started to stitch together the way this show goes and what we get into. You can expect about 90 minutes of banter and information, and eventually it'll all make sense. But you got to buckle up and suffer through it all. We're here, and you're going to be too.
90-minute program, or you can just not watch. It's
entirely up to you. It is a free show.
This is
if you want the good stuff, you really have to go to the Patreon.
So tell me, did you learn anything on Tuesday night, Chris?
I really learned that, unfortunately, the pro-winders that came, they were not together. They were a bit of ramblers. They didn't have any real concise information. They didn't come with facts. They just they were trying to play the feels, and it didn't work out for them because the anti-winders came and
they were tidy.
They were hard-hitting facts. They mentioned numbers and percentages and dollars and people and studies and all kinds of stuff. But the pro winders, like the normal people that spoke for them, just was terrible. I
think that Zach Lee made a comment on our Facebook post about the raw audio recording, and he said that the pro win side just brought their maybe D- game instead
if it was
of their
even a
game.
D-, I would have failed them.
So,
Kade, why didn't you get up and speak, man?
Man, I spoke once, and I've been to 6 or 7 meetings basically exactly like that, and I feel like it falls on deaf ears.
It did feel like everybody was going through the motions, listening to it. You know, this is an issue that's been debated for a few years now.
3 years.
And
2015 they came in. So 4 years.
This particular meeting was that Big Blue River Wind LLC had applied. There's an ordinance that was in place, and they had applied for commission-approved use to build a wind farm in northern Henry County in like 6 townships.
Yeah.
So this was the Planning Commission, which consists of, it's like the Supreme Court. 9 members sit on the Planning Commission. So in theory, you need 5 votes, a majority of the Planning Commission, not those that are present at the time, but a majority of the Planning Commission. You need to have 5 people that vote in the affirmative, and they have to vote in affirmative to 3 questions that are asked of the Planning Commission.
Yes.
Dealing with the ordinance. There's basically one saying, did they apply properly? Is it a complete application? And then there's a catch-all, or is it within, do you agree with the ordinance? Is it the right use? Is it affecting somebody else? Yada, yada, yada. All of those have to be in favor of the applicant to get their approval. The end result in the meeting was a 4-4 tie on the 3rd question.
Yeah.
Mason, this is where you go, why did they only have 8 votes?
Why did they only have 8 votes instead of something else?
So there's an issue.
9.
Yeah.
There's an issue called a conflict.
Of?
A conflict
What?
of interest.
There we go.
Because somebody would have a bias towards in favor or against the applicant.
There was a member of the Planning Commission that was presented with a contract to have wind turbines, your turbine, and parentheses S on
So
his or her
this
land.
person is a lease signer in this
Yes.
specific project. So there was an obvious
They
conflict of interest for this for Olene Veach, that individual.
So Lean had to decide. All right, not going to vote on this issue. That's a definite conflict of interest. And Jeremiah, you had it pulled up just a second ago. Where did it go? This is from the state's Planning Commission ethics guide. So this is from the state of Indiana, right?
Yeah, this is
that's what I
provided
thought.
by the state for any planning commissions.
A conflict of interest is for the Planning Commission. It says that a Planning Commission member may not participate in a hearing or decision concerning a matter in which he or she has a conflict of interest, which includes the following: the member is biased or prejudiced or otherwise unable to be impartial, or the member has a direct or indirect financial interest in the outcome of the decision. So, as a lease signer, that means that Olene had a financial interest in the outcome of this decision. However, the very first note on that, where you have an obvious bias or prejudice, there's some issues there as well.
With other members.
With other members of the Planning Commission. It's been said, well, we know that Ed Yanis has been big and talked publicly about his support for wind farms. There's some talk.
But he's not a lease signer.
He's not a lease signer. So he's
not in this
right.
project.
And not in this project, and he doesn't have any
Right.
family members that are tied to it. He didn't
Correct.
have any of the
But
issues
I'm saying that since he's spoke about his support before, the argument has been made that since he's supported it so bigly,
Excellent choice of words.
He's been vocal about his support.
Yeah, then he has
sure.
a inherent bias.
Yeah.
Also, Kenan Gray, who is the new county councilman that was in the race against Jeremiah, if you recall. And Pat Cronk. If you can remember that race, Mason, he ran on a platform of no wind. So he was in basically the no wind wing of the Republican Party. All of his campaign literature, everything on his social media sites made it clear that he was very, very opposed to wind, and even his yard signs. And so that to me shows you have a clear bias.
You have a prejudice against the applicant,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
against that that application.
To be honest, both of their votes would cancel each other out.
Right.
So there
And
were
then
tactical
you
errors
would
all the
only
way
have-
around here.
Yeah.
Because if Olene Veach had not been a lease signer, she wouldn't have recused herself.
Yeah.
So the developers made a tactical error knowing who is on this board,
Planning Commission.
right? Who the 9 members are.
Yep.
And they could have had their project, theoretically, if they had simply, if the numbers broke the way they did, that extra vote that they likely may have had was a tactical error because they signed a lease with that person.
Yes.
So that was a failure on the developer's part.
On their part, yes.
In doing that. Now, the other trick of it is voting against does you no good. You have to have 5 votes yes.
Mm-hmm.
If it was 4 votes yes and 5 abstentions, it would have still failed.
Mm-hmm.
4 votes, having a 4-vote margin wouldn't have helped. You have to have 5 yes votes to pass to get a commission approved use.
And the reason we're explaining all this is because so many people don't understand how
a
local
planning
government
commission works, right?
So,
and this is basically a 9-member board that gets to decide. This is the final view of, do you get a permit to construct this project? So this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the big moment.
Yeah.
That's why you had a building full of people and they sat through over 5-hour long meeting. The problem is that you may have potentially given the planning commission and the planning commission members, the people that had a conflict, particularly Councilman Gray, who spoke against and cross-examined and attempted to influence and probably did influence with it. He did a great job in his conversations with the attorneys from Big Blue.
Sure.
With discussing the data-driven research that he had, his studies versus what the experts that they put up was, and he did an excellent job. But if you read what is noted in the handbook, if you have a bias against the applicant, you need to back out.
Yeah.
And by not backing out and continuing to be a part of that, you potentially give Big Blue grounds for a lawsuit to say, hey, that member, if they could have voted yes, they had bias against me, and now they have grounds to sue. Mm-hmm. If he had simply recused himself, you still had the 4 votes. So it would have been 4-3, and it'd be done, and the project would be completely dead at that point.
Yeah.
Now it's murky. The meeting ended at 4-4, and the crowd was up in arms, going, "What the hell happened?" Right? I mean, what was your feeling after?
It was kind of after Darren announced that. Basically, he announced that they were going to reject it, and then everybody went wild. And then he was like, "Well," they kind of recused a little bit and came back, and then they were like, "Well, we'll deliberate later and give our final answer tomorrow with the paper."
Mm-hmm. That was the answer.
It sounded like to me.
Yeah, that's a question. That's an interesting thing too.
Well,
they may need to talk with their lawyer, but they have to have whatever meeting
they
have.
They paused
out
to talk
loud
to their lawyers, and then they said that they would come back with the final answer in the coming days.
Interesting.
It was. It seemed like it wasn't coordinated on what the answer was going to be, whether it was yes or no. It seemed like the vote.
I mean, if you don't have an affirmative, then that is what it is. And I'm sure they were probably also,
for that application,
right? They can always come back and pay their fee and come back with a different application again. Any applicant can come forward.
Yeah.
You could say that you're going to build a barn, and they say no to your barn, and then you change something in your barn, and you come back again, right?
Yeah, you come back and fix what they want you to fix.
We did hear State Representative Saunders, and it's towards the end of the raw audio that we put together. He said, there's I forget the numbers now. It's been a long day. I think 58. Was it 58? 38. There are 38 sites in this project, and 36 of them are within a 4-mile safety zone that the home rule communities have set up. And so basically only 2 of the foundations or 2 of the sites
would be outside of them
were viable.
Yeah.
And that apparently those were extremely close as to whether they were or not.
And that whole issue seems like it's up for debate as far as lawsuits go too.
So there's a pending lawsuit on that front.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought up a 2008 Indiana Supreme Court ruling to support his argument that towns have the ability to pass these ordinances. So here's a direct quote from Mr. Saunders. He says, "Those ordinances were adopted legally and lawfully, and they stand that way today." So he said, "I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, of the 38 turbines, 36 are within those buffer zones."
The other trick of this is that there's never been, and this is the thing that I've caught hell for the entire time. There's not enough votes for tax abatement in the county from Henry County. The votes are not there. You can count them. You can never find a majority. You can't even come close to finding a majority of people in favor of tax abatement for this project on the county council.
For this project.
For a wind project.
Yeah.
It's just not, the votes are not there. And I don't see that changing. There has never been a commercial wind project built in the state of Indiana without a tax abatement. Typically what's happened is you've had a commission approved use come through, and then the company comes forward and says they want a tax abatement. I still think that if they had come forward and asked for the CAU and gotten it on Tuesday night, they would have applied for an abatement, and then
There'd still be a roadblock there.
and then they would still not build it because
But they say that they can make it without.
well, that's what you're going to that's what you're going to argue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to say that,
Yeah.
but then you're still going to come forward and ask for it.
Yeah.
It's sunk money at this point.
Yeah.
I still don't think it would happen. I really don't. You think you're that special, Henry County? You think you're that blessed?
The biggest
gonna be the one-
argument for me against the wind farms is we put the setbacks in place, right? As that's county ordinances, and they have to follow these setbacks of where they can build their turbines. That definitely impedes any future industrial use of that area. If there ever wanted to be some other industry to come in, provide many jobs, all of a sudden we've cut down the land area where they could possibly build in.
And that was the argument made by Betsy Mills as where
Yeah.
a corridor.
I just wanted to give a shout out to how persuasive Betsy
she did
was.
very, very well.
I think she delivered the best speech against the wind farms at the meeting.
And that was with a cracked head.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
Cheers to Betsy.
She really did.
There's a federal tax, making this a little bit more of a national issue. The reason that these are being developed and they're being pushed right now, and it's so urgent for the development companies, is that there's a federal tax incentive to get them done by the end of 2020 that they don't think the Trump administration is going to renew.
Yeah.
This is legacy Obama stuff that's still there,
Yep.
and their energy policy. And once you get to the end of 2020, these are not viable.
It's
The
the
whole
same
reason
with,
we're having this damn civil war amongst ourselves here is because the federal government is not creating a fair market, an even market, so that you're not having technologies compete against each
It'll
other.
be
You're
really
greasing the
interesting.
skids for one side or another.
It'll be really, really interesting to see what happens to the wind market and the solar market after those subsidies stop, after they've dried up. If they actually do dry up, there's always a chance that
And it's really a collision of industries that are being greased that way because
Yeah.
it comes back to agriculture and the way that agriculture is subsidized.
Right.
And the way that we're, as a farmer myself, I understand the government's very, very good at breaking our legs, giving us the crutch and saying, here, look, because of us,
Yep.
you can walk. It's just the way that it is. And I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to change things myself.
it's like we've always said that.
But
Yeah.
I also see that, as a farmer with a year as we've had,
You sure would like to have some guaranteed revenue coming in, right?
a lot of guys are going to struggle. And with the way the markets are volatile now with trade tariffs,
Yeah.
having that income that's guaranteed is very, very good to have, especially if you're looking down the road for providing for future generations, let alone providing for feeding the world. But I mean, it comes down to, I drive to haul my corn to Winchester to an ethanol plant, which is another opportunity Henry County had at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And to get there, I have to drive through a wind farm, which is an opportunity we're looking at now. So
Our community has said no to ethanol.
Yep.
Our community has said no to asphalt.
Mhm.
Our community almost said no to a natural gas peaking plant.
Yep.
Our community said no to another asphalt plant.
Yeah.
And we bring asphalt. We've talked about this before on the show. We bring asphalt in from 25 miles away, and then we wonder why we can't pave enough roads.
Yeah.
And now we've said no to a wind development.
Mhm.
I understand that on an individual case-by-case basis, some of these are probably not great projects. Maybe they're not the right project or sited in the right place.
And there's a lot of legitimate concerns.
But at some point, Mason,
We're going to run out.
you might
of
want to live
opportunity.
somewhere close to here, right? And have a job.
Yeah.
It starts to affect you as a younger person. Are you okay, buddy? You want me to get you a pepper or something?
I'm all right.
I'll take one.
He's just
You
sitting
got one?
here. He's just sitting here zoned out. You want a job, right?
Yeah.
You want to not work hard and have a job and get paid well.
Yes, and
You just want to, punch the clock and be good to go.
for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, Chrysler doesn't exist anymore. So now we got to get creative, right? We got to figure it out. We got to find some place for Mason to work. Poor Chase has got to work 2 jobs. That's why he's not here on the show anymore. Got to find a way to make this stuff work. And I don't know how many more projects they're going to say no to. I don't know how many more times somebody's going to try to make major developments in the community. Thank God we have Boar's Head and that they're expanding, and they're going to expand into the Shell building, and they'll probably build another Shell building and keep going
and
trying to grow that.
I'll say now, I'll just call it now that area is going to be the next debate for expansion. If we can attract more industries, that area of the county is going to need to be developed for that, and there's going to be a lot of people.
And we had a
about
lot of heartache over the
rezoning.
over the rezoning to light industrial approval for what's on 300 South.
Yeah.
Between State Route 103, State Road 103, and State Road 3.
I'm not saying that anyone that has concerns about that is wrong, but looking at that area logistically and everything else the county has going for it, that's the only place that makes sense.
These are the fights. And right now you see that the community is making investment. There's to the west of there, they're putting in larger sewer tiles to accommodate that future growth.
Yep.
That's what it is. The comprehensive plan, everybody, last Tuesday night, you guys heard a number of people reference a comprehensive plan, and they said it all revolved around wind. Wind was one half of one page or one page of a comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
That's a thick booklet, right?
There's
a thick
a lot
book
in that plan.
and a big part of that is that corridor south of Newcastle, north of I-70, right in that area about future development. Yeah. That's in the comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be the guide for this planning commission, right? It's giving them a road book for the next 20 years, saying, "Hey, here's what we've decided. This is what we've adopted. This is what we think is going to happen." I'm not big for central planning, but this is where it's at. This is the world we exist in, right?
So where we leave the wind issue is that it is in this weird gray area of the law, right?
Yeah.
It's this project did not get approved.
It did not get approved, but it also did not specifically get denied either.
Well, I mean, it's a binary thing. If they're not going to issue a permit, you can't move forward.
Yeah.
You cannot build right now. You don't have a permit to build. So find me a reputable contractor that's going to go order materials and hire people and go build this thing.
Right.
Not going to happen.
The last thing that I heard was from the Courier Times and today's issue. Mm-hmm. And they said lawyers are still trying to figure out.
We'll say our media partner,
exactly
the Courier Times.
Yeah.
Our media partners.
Because our crack crew over here forgot to take a picture, so we had to.
We were working on audio.
We had
man.
to bum one off of the Courier Times, and
we were working on audio.
Editor Wyke said you can use our picture, but you have to
I
credit
just
it as our media partner.
I just want to quote what Editor Wyke said about the wind issue, and he said, "Wind is dead in Henry County." Or maybe it's not. That's the ruling from our media partner, the Courier Times. So, but I agree with you. If they're not going to issue a permit, then they can't build.
So we just take a horse that's been rotting and we flop it over, and then we're going to flog it over on the other side again and never put down the arms in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That the federal government's caused, and we just keep picking at. Just keep picking on a scab. Keep picking on a scab. Picking on a scab.
Sean Defoe from
the Chamber of Commerce.
The Chamber of Commerce, who was a previous guest. He's in our chat right now, and he said, yes, no permit, but they can return and ask if they so desire.
Absolutely. We just talked about that a few minutes ago.
And they can try to, what I'm saying is they can try to convince Kennan, listen, Kennan, vote yes on the wind turbines, and we don't know. Kennan might flip. He might say yes. They all might flip. It might be 8-0 next time.
Or he recuses himself and it loses 4-3.
Yep.
And that happens too.
Or
because it doesn't make a difference.
Ken and Ed.
They could all vote no.
They all.
At some point you say, okay, you're wasting our time. There's not the votes here. You can stop.
There's only 6 people the only way it could pass in, if everybody that should have stepped out of the vote did, then there was a chance that they still could pass 5-1. With Dale Cole being the only holdout.
That's it. That's where you're at. Your
Because
God,
we know
your God Uncle Dale Cole.
we know that Darren Jacobs would gladly vote yes.
Darren doesn't get to vote. Poor Darren gets all this hung on him, and he's an administrator. Darren takes the application. He makes sure that the appropriate people are there to review the application.
He would have voted yes if he had voted, right?
That's up to the People's
I just
Republic
like-
of Spiceland to work
I
that
just
out.
like
He's your
messing with
problem.
Darren.
You're the Spiceland Township president. I can't answer for that.
Despite all the booze and immaturity from the crowd, Darren did a good job keeping everybody on track.
Darren did a very good job for what I could hear. The crowd did. They were instructed a number of times to not waste everybody's time by making noise, and they did interrupt with applause and booze a few times.
Often. At the end, deputies were called to the stage too. I didn't see what happened there, but
Oh no.
I think Darren just did that as a precautionary measure.
All right, I have another piece of news. This
Is this the big news?
this is big news.
Big news.
Yeah, it's the
You're going to be a dad.
it's the Shell.
Oh, well,
It's the
never
Shell
mind.
building out in in north of Spiceland. Boar's Head is taking over the Shell building that we had so long dreamed of turning into a jail
Or Jack's Donuts.
or a Jack's Donuts in
Or a
Henry
Balls
County.
Hogger Liberty studio.
I was still rooting for a jail, but Boar's Head is going to take over the Shell building, and they're going to build something in there. We're not sure what, but
It's going to be Chase's Chicken Factory.
so do we know?
I always thought it'd be a cool Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory.
Yeah, it's a perfect building for it.
Yeah, if he franchised that, I
would do
go,
it in a
for
heartbeat.
sure.
I'd learn how to ride a bike for that.
Just give me a foam pit.
All right. So at the Henry County Council's June meeting, Corey Murphy announced that the Boar's Head Provisions wanted to buy the Shell building and expand their operation. So there's no environmental concerns apparently with the Shell building, so that's a great thing. Let's take some bets. This is where I'm getting to. Let's take some bets.
Okay.
Is the county going to build a new Shell building?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
I agree.
Because
Are we all in agreement? Or Mason, what do you think?
Yes, if. Yes, if they find a partner.
It finally paid off, and they
Yes,
well,
if.
I mean, it's paid off before. Just
Yeah, according to Corey, whenever he was on the show, he said that
the
there have
building.
been like 6 companies come look at the county just because we had that Shell
Yeah,
building.
they looked at the county. They realized that the Shell building wasn't what they wanted, but Henry County was what they wanted.
Yes, if they can find another partner and run a boom again.
Sean
That carried
Defoe
most of
saying
it.
no.
Yeah, that's risky.
Is he
maybe.
saying no about the Shell building, or is
It's-
there
yeah, it
lag in
could
the
be
video?
depend.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Sean, you have to be very specific about what we say no to. People tell us no all the time. All right. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. The other trick of it is that our industrial park is filling up. So
South 25th fire, the old Firestone.
what's next? Is it going to be out there? Is it going to be off 300 South? Are they going to move south? South and west of or south and east of where Boar's Head is, down further into whatever township that is. That Harrison Town? That's not Harrison Township. That's Franklin Township. We'll see.
There's going to be a beautiful spot where the Steak and Shake is when they demolish that.
You giving up hope on Steak and Shake?
Yeah, it's going to close.
You have a Steak and Shake report? Have you been there lately?
You know
They
what?
close every night at 12:30. They're no longer 24
Uh,
hours.
I want to say something about Steak and Shake because I know that you have a beef with them. I now also have a beef the other night.
Because they have no beef.
I really, really, really wanted a milkshake, and I was like,
Milkshake
Steak-
machine closes at 10:30.
no, I was like, Steak and Shake's really close. What? No, this was at like 5 in the afternoon.
Okay.
I'm like, I
happy
just
hour.
wanted a milkshake.
they turn into McDonald's, and it just doesn't work.
They said
There's Steak
this
and
is-
Shake.
This was a sign on the drive-through sign. It said out of shake base. What is shake base? It's just ice cream and milk.
No,
Like,
it's powder.
There's
It's-
some
that's
dust.
disgusting.
They
Powder.
put dust in it.
I'm never getting a milkshake from there again.
Watch the movie The Founder.
From this
Michael
day
Keaton.
forward, I am strictly a weenie world man.
That's
Tells
good.
you all
Weenie
about
World
what
is where it's
base
at.
is.
Hold on,
For
wait,
sure.
wait. Have you guys tried 38? What is that?
I'm a big fan of the dairy in
Yeah.
Hagerstown.
I am too. They
I
have
like
really,
the dairy.
They have really good buffalo chicken sandwiches.
38.
I like Jimmy's Dairy Bar in Pendleton. You been there?
No, I think that the
Dairy Bar?
None of these are as good as the dairy.
Hilltop.
It's a
I can
family
go to
business.
Hilltop
the
in
lesson
Cambridge
is-
City.
I think the lesson is we all have our favorites. We all
Okay.
have our favorites, but no
Fight
one.
me.
Yeah, 38
Let's
dairy.
go.
You're all going to have to fight me on this one.
Dairy Queen's all right too.
Listen, we all have our favorites, but
On
there's
Single
not a
Night-
single person whose favorite is Steak and Shake because they suck
Yeah.
and they make their milkshakes with shake base,
Not
whatever
since,
that means.
Not since the Graham Ray Hall shake, and that was just Zach Burcham and my favorite. But now it's gone. So
So is Steak and Shake here soon?
Steak and Shake legitimately may go the way of Bennigan's. It may be something that you tell your kids about. Hey, there used to be this restaurant that was on every corner.
They
It's called Steak and
closed.
Shake.
I heard it was like 25 of them in Indiana.
Yeah, a lot of the
So-
company-owned stores are they've closed and they're trying to reopen as franchises, and they're offering up for like $10,000, but you have to give more than half your profits away.
That's what happens whenever you make your milkshakes. Not even like milkshakes, use shake base.
You know who probably has a good opinion on this? Mark Brim.
Mark Brim.
Yeah, you're right.
Mark Brim-
we should save this topic for him.
A couple of things from Mark Brim. One, we're gonna have to mail him an audio tape of this because his phone broke. So he said, if anybody has any nice memes, you need to mail them
He
to
said,
him.
he said my
please print
phone's
them out
broke
and mail them
and
to
it
me.
will likely be broken
Can
for
we
a very
fax?
long
Can we
time.
fax them?
Yeah. No, you need to print them out, put them in the postal service, and he'll get them in a few days. Two, I think Mark is too heartbroken over Burger Chef going away still, so I don't think
Let's seriously mail him a meme.
we should. If anybody knew where he lived.
Yeah.
Mark Brim, Richmond, Indiana, care of Mark Brim. please find him. The old curmudgeon with the old green Chevrolet. Maybe let's see. That's a good experiment.
Yeah.
Should we print it in black and white?
Yeah.
Print the meme.
I
in
think
black
we
and
should
white?
just
Yeah.
draw it.
Oh,
Tell you
Sean
what.
Defoe is saying that more likely the Newcastle RDC is going to be
We are going
building,
to send.
looking at a shell building.
We are
That's
going
his
to
prediction.
send a care package to Mark Brim. All of the memes that you can send us that we can fit into an envelope, I want you to message them to the Boss Hog of Liberty page. Send all of your memes to the Boss Hog of Liberty Facebook page. Send them
Especially
in the
your
DMs.
Area 51 memes. We need those.
I like that
Or
idea.
you can email them to dakota@bosshogofliberty.com. We will
That's
print
true.
them out. We will
send
send
them
them
there.
first class mail.
That's Dakota, spelled like the state with no capital letter. And then Boss Hog of Liberty, spelled BOSSHOG.
I do believe I have found the address.
We do want to welcome Jade Koger to the live feed. Very exciting to have Jade. She offered to take me to lunch today.
Oh, at
Did-
Kreider's?
Yeah.
Come on, we need to
I
work
didn't get
towards,
that. I ended up getting Park Restaurant.
Why didn't you get Kreider's?
What?
I got Kreider's
Listen,
I had
Honestly,
Kreider's.
with no sour cream.
I was craving a salad from Park Restaurant.
Park Restaurant's got really good food.
They've got really good grilled chicken.
Does Inga know you step out on her sometimes?
She does now. Thanks for that. What else you gonna bust me out on tonight, Jeremiah?
Boy, that's all I know.
Hey,
If I had any more secrets at all, I would tell.
that's it. And luckily for you, you can't rewind in a live stream, so Jay doesn't
Got to
know
be
anything
published.
Jade won't know for hours.
Yeah.
until you're home.
Is she
Perfect.
is she on the Patreon feed?
That will.
Hey, Jade.
No, she knows. I told her last night.
Hey,
I
Jade.
told her. She knows.
$100 on Patreon tonight, and we'll tell you the secret.
We leak.
Good God, the man's not getting a win for him anymore. He's got to be tight with his money.
He's
This
he's
is
got
why you
that-
guys brought me on tonight, just to tear me down.
He's got that Trump cash.
Is that
He'll be
why
all
I'm
right.
here?
Yeah, we
I work
be
all
all right.
day. I come here and I just get tore down.
Jade says she went to Kreider's all by herself. You just didn't get any.
She's been to Kreider's for 2 days in a row now.
Nice.
It's addictive. So I went in.
They
Bash
put
wasn't
nicotine
there.
in the pork.
I wasn't
Tell
there.
Bash that apparently I'm a supporter.
I go in. They're like, Bash isn't here right now. We're out of tacos. They're like an hour in. They're out of taco shells. So he ran out, got tacos. He was there for 3 minutes, made tacos. Oh shit, I'm out of sour cream, and he's out the door again. He was walking out the door. There were like 10 customers in there. I just looked at him and said, "You did this to yourself. You had Taco Day and advertised it. This is your fault. This is a you problem."
Their tacos,
But they
are
were
so good.
excellent. They were excellent. They were hot and spicy. They had jalapenos in them, Mason.
I like jalapenos.
See, the soft tacos are much okay.
Next
we
time
need,
those
we
come
really
on
need
special,
to,
we're going to get those.
we really need to move into final thoughts instead of just taco talk.
I mean,
know
this has
what we-
been a record fast episode
I just
because Dakota failed to prepare any show notes.
Listen, you know what we need to do? We need to
We've
have
been
all
going
the
for like over an hour.
No, we've not.
Oh, we started at 8:16
53
or
minutes.
7:16.
We got 53 minutes
We're
on
at
this.
53.
I'm just saying.
You have somewhere to be?
We need.
Do you not
all-
love us anymore?
Jeremiah?
What's the
No,
problem?
I've never loved you, so.
I told you to be more aggressive.
That's what I'm trying to be here.
If you had thrown some elbows on Tuesday night, maybe we'd know how the vote went. We'd have some audio.
That's a possibility.
Yikes.
We need to get all the local vendors, like grilled Kriders, to do like a taco cook-off and us be the judges.
That'd be cool.
Judged by
Are you going to organize this?
If you hear this and you can make tacos, we will judge.
Jeremiah and I judged chili one time.
Yes, years ago.
We were celebrity
Early
judges
on, we were
for a chili cook-off. Yeah.
Along with
was that?
Sheriff Rick.
Yeah,
McCorkle.
Sheriff Rick.
I'm gonna have to
McCorkle
look
was-
on my Traeger app and
It was
see
in-
if I can
it
put
was in-
tacos on my Traeger.
It was in the
Ooh, that-
Louisville.
You could at least do the meat.
Smoked tacos? Is that
You
a
could at
thing?
least do the meat.
We're gonna find out.
All right. We're all going to know together. All right. Final thoughts, Kade.
Did you guys see Trump got trolled?
He did get trolled today, and Matt Pfeiffer, whatever, was in the crowd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was there. So that's why you posted that today. and
Did
I said,
everybody notice that? Like,
I don't
during
know.
it?
You literally posted it
Oh
like
my God,
as
that was
it
so
happened.
funny.
The USA Today ran the story, and there was
Yeah.
like Russian insignia and golf clubs and the presidential seal. Is he speaking in Washington D.C. today? To
In
a
and in Spanish, it said Trump is a puppet.
yeah,
Yep.
45 is a puppet. Yeah.
So
Hilarious.
Matt was
it
in the
had-
crowd. I don't know if anybody noticed it there. They called it the tech people called it a glitch, basically.
Oh yeah,
And they don't know what happened or how it happened. And then it was in the USA Today. Literally, he's still up there speaking. The USA Today had a story out about it.
Yeah.
And then you shared it with us, but I don't know that the crowd even knew it had happened.
that's probably the best troll job I've ever seen.
Oh boy. Hey, Kade, how's your life insurance, buddy?
Good.
Because there's some
Actually,
angry.
I
there's
just
some
took out a
angry
new
stuff.
life insurance policy, and it's really good.
There's some angry shit in here right now. Mostly from your wife.
We'll see. If the kids are happy, I'm happy.
That's all that matters.
It's not happy wife, happy life. It's if the kids
Oh
are
yeah,
happy.
baby.
It's for the children. It's for the children, really.
Yeah, baby.
So the whole thing we're joking about is
Oh, so
we're getting
we're
a new,
joking about something?
We're getting a new puppy.
Oh,
It's all a joke.
I know about it. Jade knows about it.
now.
Kids don't know about it.
Oh, okay.
But I was planning on just bringing the dog home and just letting the kids see it and get attached.
And then telling Jade.
And she wouldn't have to tell me no. She would have to tell them no.
Yeah, she'd have to break their little hearts.
Yeah.
But the money's already been laid
But-
down. Who takes care of everything?
I've been getting pictures of this puppy, and I've been slowly feeding them to her, and she's coming around.
Yeah.
Tell me about your process for picking the puppy.
She told me today that
Did you decide which one you wanted?
Did you go with the old shake the cage?
No, I haven't even seen it in person yet.
Oh, you didn't shake the
How do you know
cage.
it's real? How do you know you're not being puppy fished?
Did you ask them to take a video of them shaking the cage?
I've received pictures.
Right.
No cage.
So you don't know the personality.
Nah, I feel confident.
How many puppies were there?
I feel confident. I'm not sure on the whole litter. I think there was like
Is it an Australian Shepherd?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a mix. There's like an Australian cattle dog involved.
Okay, well that might calm it down then.
Same
you-
thing, only different.
Or make it worse?
We don't know. Never had one.
Basically,
or
Australia.
female?
This one will be a male. Yeah.
They chew
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh, I know.
They're chewers.
Mouths are busy.
I had a female at one point, and she got ran over by a truck, but she was a good dog.
Yeah, well,
do you want to compare the list of horrible things that have been chewed up by your dog? The wall in your house, the wall in my house,
Yeah, I had a
the
wall
floor in my house.
I had some floor, but luckily I had real wood floor. So,
Oh, I did too.
so yours is like laminate.
No, hard wood. Hard wood.
Huh.
Real.
Hard wood.
It's hard.
Was it an actual hole? Like you could see through it?
It's you could lose your thumb in it. It
Oh,
doesn't
my
go all the way
goodness.
through, but it's real.
Hmm.
He's a gnar.
Hank recently he got a hold of my shoe, and instead of chewing on my shoe, he just took the insole out of it and chewed that.
Oh, that's a good dog. Really. I mean, that could have been worse.
Wasn't that bad? But unfortunately, it was my Dr. Scholl's insole, so that sucked. But it was the old ones. They were the old ones from my old work boots, and I
Yeah.
took them out and put them in my tennis shoes. So
He did it because he loved you, though.
not that big of a
It
loss.
smelled like you.
And he's okay. He's still he still pees whenever he gets excited,
He still does that?
like a little bit. He just
Just a
it's
little.
not as bad as like used to be. He just let loose control of his bladder. Now it's just like
all over everything. Mason, have you got a dog in your life?
I do have a dog. His name is Cash. He's a golden retriever. Big baby.
Yeah, he's a big, baby?
He's a big baby.
How old is this baby?
Remember when Mason used to be good and excited on the show? Have you? What's
I feel
happened?
like crap.
Did you get crushed? I'm worried.
Something happened.
I'm
in there.
worried.
I'm not too sure.
I'm worried about you. This is because you mistreated the B-Dubs waitress, and I think she's taking it out on you.
That could be.
You really didn't behave well, and it was just. And now
I thought I was
not.
nice. I gave her a good tip.
Well, but she probably poisoned you before you tipped her.
Put eye drops in your drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. All right. You got any final thoughts for us? Anything we missed? Anything you wanted to cover?
wow.
You want to pitch your mowing services?
Don't ask me to mow. I do it for one person.
He
Jeremiah.
He will do
You do
a
it for
big
at
yard.
least 2 now.
I've done two. Don't say I keep doing it for you. I've done it once.
It was an emergency.
It was
He
an
also
emergency.
mowed Corey Owens' yard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only other person. I mow Corey's yard.
Does Corey provide a mower?
He does not, but I also live 3 houses down from him.
Oh, now
Do you
I
have
know where you live. Cool.
Do you have a permit
Cool.
to transport the mower down the city streets, the town streets of
It's
Spiceland?
Spiceland.
I'm saying,
I'm just saying.
I listen. That town board will take a chicken out of your yard and execute it in front of the whole neighborhood to tell them.
Tell Darren.
Do it. This is me
They
publicly
are-
telling you I drive a mower
They are ruthless.
a quarter of a block away.
They're ruthless. They'll come after you if you don't have the right permits and you haven't paid the bribe.
Best part
you're
is
in
I
trouble.
live about 4 houses down from the town building, so I can just walk
They see it all.
the fine to me.
I see it all. I also did pick up a ping pong table from your house. I got to visit the Rottinghaus residence. Oh man, it was.
Our car lot, not really a residence. It was.
It looked more like a church, honestly.
Well, there's a church by it.
Looks like you guys worship there.
I don't.
You live in the Friends Church?
No.
It's getting very specific now.
That church is scary.
They're not supposed to know.
Stay in there past
He's about to
11
dox
o'clock
himself.
at night. That's a scary place.
It's a 50-50 thing. Sometimes the events there are happy.
Do you believe in
sometimes they're not.
ghosts, young Mason?
I think there's something out there. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You believe in ghosts?
I believe in ghosts.
What an idiot.
All right.
Did we land on the moon?
Hey, listen, Mason. To make you feel better, I would have said that no matter what you said.
That's final
Yeah,
thoughts.
baby.
That's final thoughts with Mason Rottinghaus. Chris Guffey, what do you got for us?
I've actually got 3 things, real quick.
Well, it's time for
Overachiever.
restroom break then.
No, it's real quick. The Newcastle Henry County Animal Shelter, they are overflowing currently with cats and kittens.
It's a $10 kitten sale.
Yeah.
It is a $10 kitten sale until August 3rd. All eligible felines have been spayed and or neutered, and or, because we don't know, given age-appropriate vaccinations, dewormed, and microchipped.
They've
Wait,
done
is
it
just
all.
Cats?
Cats or kittens.
Not interested.
All the felines.
You're getting muted right now. You ain't even going to talk for the rest of the show.
How many cats do you have, Guffey?
I told you, you're muted.
Is it?
No, I
there
have.
we go.
I only have 1 right now, and that's just because my place is kind of small, which is what I like. If I owned a place as big as Kade's and I was a farmer, I'd probably be.
You'd buy all the kitties.
I would probably be at the Henry County Animal Shelter with as much money as I could muster. No joke.
You'd be the woman that's on the news going, I did this to
Don't you
myself.
have to apply? Don't you have to apply?
Yeah, you
Be
do.
a modern day Bubbles.
I tried to adopt a dog from the animal shelter once, and I still had a cat, and I couldn't pass the background check because I had a cat, but I was like, she doesn't like to go to the vet. So then I'm like, I wrote down the vet that I would go to if I needed to go to the vet, and then they called them, and they're like, we've never seen this cat before in our life. And they're like, you can't have this dog. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait,
really?
so they won't let you have? How's that work? They won't let you have adopt something if you have a.
If you have it, say you have another animal, say
Yeah.
you have a cat
Yeah.
that's like a barn cat or whatever, and you don't exactly give it modern medical attention, and you didn't lie on the application. You're like, yeah, I have a cat. What else do you have in the house? I have a cat. Okay, well, what vet do you see? I would see Dr. Osterman, who's now passed away. But this has been some time ago. But I was like, John Osterman in Moreland. And then they're like, okay, well, give us a minute with the application. I'm trying to adopt this dog. And they're like, yeah, you can't have the cat. The vet's never heard of you. The vet has no record of your cat. Really? Well, this is well. Keep your damn dog then. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to help you.
Okay.
But yeah, you can't. These are the rules.
So the second thing I have is South Memorial Drive Church of God is having
Cog.
Yes, is having a little get together on July 27th, this Saturday, at Low Park, which is next to the fire station on
Over on
South 25th Street.
Over on your side of the district.
Close. That's Ward 1 technically. They are going to hand out shoes and socks to school-age students beginning at 10:30. Let's see. You're encouraged to show up at 10:15 to begin the line. First come, first serve. Pizza and bottled water will be available for students and their families during distribution time.
At 10 o'clock in the morning? Fresh pizza?
Little Caesars probably.
I wouldn't eat it at 10. I'd eat cold pizza at 10:30.
You'd eat at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I got to be awake at 10 o'clock in the morning.
If you were awake, you would eat pizza at 10 in the morning.
And then my third and final thought. Next Thursday, I will be having a ride-along with Newcastle Police Department from 3 p. to 11 p.
So don't get busted then, or Guffey's going to tase you.
Have you ever been on a ride-along?
I've never.
That's so much fun.
You ever seen the movie Right Along?
You used to patrol in the Middle East. How different can this be? Do you feel prepared?
Yeah, easily. I do have questions that I want to ask.
Just watch out for those triangles. You get choked out every time.
Yeah, but you know what the difference is. I got a cop there, and he's my buddy. So guess what? You get me in a triangle, he's going to butt stuck you. He's going to hit you with that butt stock, and I'm going to win. But no, so I will be doing that next Thursday between the hours of 3 to 11. I'm very excited. Justin Warlow was very helpful in finding somebody that I could ride along with. And
Who are you riding along with?
It's a secret.
it's a secret. I don't know if he wants his name out there.
We tell secrets on here.
Only on the Patreon.
Touche.
But I got that, and that's all I've really got for this final thoughts.
Very exciting. Thank you for producing this episode.
Thank you.
You've done an adequate job. There's still a hum, but we'll get
You
over
got
it.
rid of most of the noise.
Story of my life.
Guffey's done talking. You got anything for me, Dakota?
Yes, I do. Today was one of my favorite days of the local newspaper, which is the day that the food inspection reports come out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did all of our favorite establishments pass with flying colors?
I want to say that pretty much everybody that got a food inspection, a health inspection done, passed with flying colors.
Really?
With no violations.
Ooh, you said almost.
Almost everybody.
Okay. I'm uncomfortable.
Crider's Barbecue Bash,
Yes.
nothing.
No troubles.
They were perfect.
Of course they were.
The Belgian Horse Winery, the Baskin Robbins that was there, they had one little violation, but pretty much nothing. So congratulations to them too.
Just a little bit of hair.
Yeah.
It was the hair was under temperature.
No,
It wasn't
found,
165.
Just kidding.
they found ice cream scoops stored in cups of water.
Hell, I do that.
That
at
was
home.
that's basically nothing. They also the regular side of Belgian Horse Winery, nothing.
Okay.
Great for them.
I'm waiting for this big bombshell.
He's stretching it. He's stretching.
There's really nothing. I'm
Was Weenie
I'm
World
just
okay?
giving.
You can't sit here
I'm
and
just-
tell me Steak and Shake passed with flying
Steak
colors.
and Shake wasn't inspected this time.
They don't check every time.
I wouldn't. I would check that place once a week.
There was only one critical
This
violation.
is see something, say something with Mason.
One
Check,
critical.
steak, and shake.
There was one critical
They will
violation.
never sponsor
There's-
this program.
There are critical and non-critical violations.
All right,
There's
what's-
only one critical.
And
which was,
can I guess where it comes from?
Ooh,
Yes,
yeah, let's do a guess.
yeah.
Let's
Give
use
me
our
my
let's,
options.
let's use
what,
our
what were my options on?
I'll give you this.
Mason. I want to explain the concepts of slander and libel to you. You should Google those, and then you can go on with your segment.
I'll give you one hint.
One hint.
Mobile.
Oh, I got
grilled?
this. Nope.
Nope.
This is
Uh-oh.
Big Papa Pork Pit.
Nope.
No?
It was Kai's Creations.
No.
Mobile. Don't even end it. It's the Grubhub we have here in Newcastle. It's one of them. Who is it?
No.
What? I'm gonna guess it.
It was
Hold
the tropical shaved ice.
on. Oh.
Yeah. What they found
Wow.
was an employee touched a straw. Well, they saw an employee take money from a customer, cash money, and then grab a plastic straw and put it in a cup.
They have 14-year-olds doing that job. That's
Yeah.
not easy.
That's apparently considered critical. So whatever.
Yeah.
I see that Nick also enjoys the food inspection report days.
In restaurant news as well, south side of Muncie, Indiana is the place where we do reality TV. That Muncie is Anywhere USA, 15 miles north of Newcastle. This is where Wee Man and LaToya Jackson came to be cops, along with the dude from Chips. 15 years ago, the show was canceled. It was on CBS. Armed and Dangerous, Armed and Famous. I don't know what the hell it's
That's where
called.
I go for jujitsu too.
That's where Kade goes to get whipped or whip on some people.
Where I go
choke
to
some people
donate
out.
plasma, does that count?
That's where I go to
Make
work
some
when
money.
I go. So that's they filmed that show there, and now this week, Restaurant Impossible, which is like I'm not familiar with the show. Apparently, it's real and it's a thing. They did the Retro Diner, which I can remember opening up like 4 or 5 years ago. It used to be a Napa, and then they turned it into a 50s style diner. They came in and they spent $10,000 and they closed it down for 2 days. And apparently they've got a new concept or done something, and it's going to be this thing on TV in a few months. So looking forward to that being an episode of Throwaway TV.
It's got this guy.
5 Guys in. I went.
I know that.
They
show.
opened up.
Yeah, there is 5 Guys in Muncie.
They have opened up, and I did go on Sunday at noon. So before the church crowd got there, it was
Is
still
that the,
packed.
French fry and burger restaurant.
Yeah,
Would you consider them fast food?
Yeah,
My problem is that
That's probably
It's like
my
gourmet fast
favorite fast food.
I don't know how 5 Guys exists in the keto world.
It does.
It does.
They don't have salads. They have peanuts, which I guess are okay, and you could have a shit ton of burgers.
I think it's
You can just take
overpriced.
the bun off.
you just take the bun off.
But there's no side. All you're having is the bun and the lettuce. They don't have a salad.
Get
They
extra
don't have,
lettuce and make
Yeah.
it like a burger wrap.
I just
It's a
Hardee's
struggle.
will do that.
Yeah.
It's a
Hardee's
struggle.
does that for you.
I can't just pay. I don't know. I think it's expensive. I think it costs too
One
much.
day when you are a man, you'll appreciate the
I'm
finer
not.
things
I
in
mean,
life.
granted, I like to sit down and eat a meal, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it's delicious. I could eat 30 of them probably, but I don't want to pay $20 for a double cheeseburger.
Whoa,
That sounds like a
it's
future
$12. It's $12.
Not if you get bacon.
It's a $12 double cheeseburger, regular fry, and a regular drink.
That's not a total. It's $12 alone for that burger.
No, it's not. I just went there Sunday.
They're running a deal.
No, they're not.
Grand
That's
opening.
That's the standard price.
You
That's-
spent way more than that at B-Dubs just now.
You sure did. Trust me. I
I got an appetizer that you ended up eating all of.
Oh
But
boy,
if you want to
You
make,
offered.
I did offer.
if you want to grill
I'm
your own,
uncomfortable.
if you want to grill your own burger, you can buy ground beef at L&K Beef.
We're working our way through our L&K
Now
beef right now.
We're open.
Sarah
you can-
almost brought L&K beef tonight for dinner, but we were already at B-Dubs.
You've been
Hadn't
hitting that
even-
produce though, right?
We have been
got the
stuff.
produce as well.
been
Depends on
working on
who's
the produce
working.
stand.
You can't stop me, Koger.
We've got we got an L&K melon right now.
You can choke me out
We've had
all
some-
you
we've
want.
had some green
but you
beans.
can't stop me from my melon.
We've had
Just don't let me
squash.
catch you down there.
We've purchased some tomatoes that we never ate and had to throw away.
I'm
but
gonna
we
go
purchased
down
the
there.
tomatoes.
Oh wow.
We've been working our way through it.
I don't care what you do with it.
Yeah, as
after
long as you
it.
buy it. Yeah.
I'm going down there right after this and buying me a melon.
I'm gonna throw 'em at Mason's house now where I know where it's
Pretty
at.
good.
You didn't know. Seriously,
take
I bought
that
the
debit.
seedless. They do.
That-
I bought one of those seedless
We're
melons.
closed now, so it has to be cash.
You can just Venmo Cade some money.
Can I, Kate?
Technically, we're not closed. It's 24 hour.
It's the honor
Sorry, don't
system,
have
but
cash.
cash only.
You can go to ATM, get some cash, and
Where do you bank?
He's
at?
got like
Drop by.
$4
Mason.
in his Cade.
Where do you bank at?
Citizens.
There's one right around the corner.
I don't
He's got
cash
$4 in his account, guys.
I have more than $4 today.
he mowed a couple lawns.
I gave him 20
Cash.
2 days ago.
but in cash.
All right. Well, as I get to my final thoughts portion, Dakota's half checked out here making memes. I want to thank all of you for coming down to the Henry County 4-H Fair last week. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, sorry I missed it.
Kade was working. We understand how that goes. Danny made an appearance. First time in ages we had Danny Morrell on the show. Will Thompson, 3-year-old, made his podcast debut. That was a lot of fun. Go check that out. We had Mr. and Miss Henry County. We had Justin Curley on. We nearly killed Mason, but you made it. First County Fair experience. You got a T-shirt out of it.
I bought it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got one.
Oh yeah, I got one. I wore that today.
You're gonna
on
use
the golf
that,
course.
You're going to use that to, you don't wear a collared shirt on the golf course?
Not in Newcastle.
You savage. I heard your whole reason you wanted that T-shirt was to pick up girls at Purdue.
Yep. That's exactly it. I told them when I go out in public, I'm wearing that 4-H shirt, and they're going to say, "Oh,
I wear tank tops when I go golfing.
you are
No one says
in
anything.
4-H."
What's the, there's a farming...
Farmhouse.
Farmhouse, yeah.
Or
farming
AGR,
frat.
Alpha Gamma Rho.
Yeah.
They like clash, but one's $1 million some sponsor a year from Beck's Corn Seed, and
That's
the other
Farmhouse,
one's
right?
yeah, and then the other one's like old and crusty. But
You couldn't get into any of them?
Oh, crusty.
I got a buddy who Farmhouse. They let just about it. They don't. I'm not going to say they let anybody in, but you don't have to be like in ag or anything.
You don't have to be in the club.
I mean, you can
You
get
just
in.
have to ride a goat. That's what I heard.
No.
All right. Did you enjoy yourself at the fair, Guffey?
I did. The lemon shake-ups from the Shenandoah
The Shenandoah
4-H
Club, yeah.
I thought it
was
the
amazing.
FFA.
And we had the pie.
We had the pie. And then also, I got a phone call yesterday from the Purdue Extension office
You won some state fair tickets.
that I was the grand champion winner.
I'll buy them off of you.
Wow. Okay, we can do that off the air.
They're not for sale.
Just under retail. Dakota?
Huh.
What do you say we do this again next week?
I would agree with
We
that.
should do that?
Yep.
Maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. It depends upon whether or not we really need Guffey.
Kidding. We're actually spooking y'all with a Sunday night show.
We'll see. Indy cars are at Mid-Ohio this weekend. I don't know if I can do a Sunday night show. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.